Avast me hearties! I hope you find your sea legs because it's time to set sail on the Azurite seas with this Amber Ruby starter deck, a seaworthy crew. Batten down the hatches because it's time to take a look at this ragtag collection of glimmers and talk about the best strategies to use when navigating these choppy waters. Whether you're playing with your shipmates or planning to pick it up for your next seal tournament to win some loot, we've got you covered. And I promise there's a boatload more puns sailing your way. So let's go. A seaworthy crew has assembled a starter deck that doubles down on the pirate archetype, pairing the sheer power of Ruby with the support and recursive abilities of Amber. A seaworthy crew features 45 characters, 7 actions, 5 locations, and 3 items. A seaworthy crew includes a generous 53 inkable cards with only 7 uninkable cards. This means you're going to be able to be quite aggressive when altering your hand, as you'll likely always have something to ink. And this starter deck features cards from both Azurite Sea, as well as a few cards from Shimmering Skies to boot. In terms of the general strategy of this deck, a seaworthy crew is a slightly slower playstyle, looking to build up a board of characters and locations, and do like all good crews and protect them from danger. There are a few strategic lines of play you can go for, depending which of the cards you draw, either taking advantage of the pirate synergy, focusing on locations, or using damage to turn the tides in your favour. Winnie the Pooh Honey Pirate is a great early game character who not only has support, but also reduces the cost of the next pirate character played each time he quests. This is going to allow you to get out your characters a bit sooner than you would normally, and with over half of the deck featuring characters with the pirate classification, there are plenty of good targets. But since Pooh's ability is one you'll want to take advantage of turn after turn, it's best to quest at an opportune time. To help protect Pooh, as well as your other characters, this deck makes good usage of Amber's strength reducing abilities. Owl, Pirate Lookout, Roo, Littlest Pirate, and the action Rescue Rangers Away all allow you to reduce opponent character strength to allow your other characters to quest more safely. Another pseudo protection tool is 100 Acre Island, Pooh's home, a location that grants 1 law each time a character is banished while here on your opponent's turn. So you can have all of your characters sail to 100 Acre Island and pose the dilemma to your opponent. Do they spend time taking out the location first, or grant you lore instead? Either way, it's a win-win situation for you. But the Amber side of things provides another handy tool as well, in the form of Pooh Pirate Ship, an item that allows you to pay 3 to return a pirate character from your discard. Being able to bring your important pirate characters back from the discard will definitely create a problem for your opponent, and give you a steady supply of cards to play. I Won't Give In provides another way to recur your characters, cost 2 or less, and is not limited to pirates either. Of course, every crew needs a great captain, and the good news is a seaworthy crew is helmed by none other than Jim Hawkins, Honourable Pirate. As a 7-cost character, Jim might arrive a little later, but his high recruit ability provides a strong, pirate-focused card draw by searching for pirates in the top 4 cards of your deck. This will refill your hand when you may be running low on characters. But he's also a bodyguard, there to protect your lower willpower characters from danger. If the Amber Glimmers of this deck are there to support your characters, the Ruby Glimmers are there to blow your opponent's characters out of the water. Both Kakamora characters bring useful advantages to this crew. Pirate Pitcher can lend a character evasive, helping protect your most valuable treasures, while Kakamora Boarding Party is a bomb, able to rush in and deliver a wallop. Given his low willpower though, look to combine him with Amber's strength reduction abilities first to get the most out of him. Aside from Ruby's strength, there are also more interactions here, and more potential for lore gain, though it often requires a bit of setup. An example of this is Tigger in the Crow's Nest, the other featured character from this deck, who gains +1 lore and +1 strength this turn when you play an action. This gives him some valuable double utility depending on the state of the game, but with only 7 actions available in this deck, be sure to play those strategically to maximize Tigger's value. And like Tigger, Wendy Darling, Courageous Captain, is another character who gets better in the right setup, although in her case, she requires another pirate in play. Her evasiveness can make her a challenge for some decks to remove, so be sure to take full advantage of this. Another powerhouse in this deck is the Floodborn Moana, Kakamora Leader. Played on a wide board, her Gathering Forces ability can allow for a huge lore gain if timed correctly. The islands I pulled from the sea helps you set this up, letting you find a location from your deck. And in terms of locations on Ruby's side of things, there are both Skull Rock with its pirate synergy and Ratigan's Party with its damage synergy, ready to go depending on your board. Speaking of damage, John Silver, Ferocious Friend, is another strong addition to this deck, who can ready one of your characters when he quests, at the small cost of dealing 1 damage. Thankfully, the Amber Chromacon or Rabbit Indignant Pirate could remove that damage, or alternately, send them to Ratigan's Party, where that damage can actually start generating some lore. With these useful locations in the deck, it's clear to see why Fix-It Felix makes an appearance. Fix-It Felix Niceland Steward is there to beef up the locations, while Fix-It Felix Delighted Sightseer provides one of the deck's few draw options, so be sure to use him wisely. With a few potential lines of play, your opening hand will likely determine what you need to alter. Always look for a good curve of ink, at least for your first 4 turns. Moana, Self-Taught Sailor is perhaps the best turn 1 play given her stat line. But this deck does have a slightly higher curve and 1-drop options are limited. So don't be afraid to drop Rabbit or even establish an early Pooh pirate ship, even if they don't generate as much value played early on. Pooh is your ideal turn 2 play, as he'll let you get out those high cost characters sooner. If you're able to safely quest with him, getting John Silver out on turn 3 is a strong play, as he can ready Pooh the following turn. Or you can drop the 1-2 punch of Kakamora Pirate Pitcher and Rue Littlest Pirate, both of which can protect Pooh further. Drop more strength reducing characters on turn 4 and 5 to keep Pooh safe, and then follow up with a turn 6 Jim Hawkins to refill your hand with pirates. If your opening hand is looking a little more location heavy, 100 Acre Island into Fix-It Felix Delighted Sightseer into Niceland Steward on turn 3 could be a strong play. Tigger and Moana Self-Taught Sailor on 4 into Moana Kakamora Leader on 5 could help you cruise to a huge lore lead with some strong characters in play. If you're looking to upgrade this deck, there are certainly some good options depending on your preferred playstyle. Firstly, look at cutting characters that don't fit the style you want to go for. Rut, Took and Rattigan are all possible candidates to remove, as they lack obvious synergy with the rest of the cards. One potential course you can chart is toward a pirate aggro deck. Upping the copies of Pooh Honey Pirate will help ensure you find him for turn 2, and having multiple in play will really accelerate the pace of the game. A natural inclusion is Piglet Pooh Pirate Captain, a strong aggro threat with both the pirate and captain keywords. And although she lacks some synergy, Daisy Duck Donald's Date is one of the strongest turn 1 plays, especially if you're leaning more toward the aggro route. Your pirates can then keep her safe, and if she is banished, bring her back with I Won't Give In, another card you can increase the copies of. Wendy Darling, Talented Sailor could be another good include. She definitely looks the part, although she does lack the pirate and captain keywords. Someone should be made to walk the plank for that. After that, increasing the quantities of some of the other strong questers such as Wendy Darling Courageous Captain and even Gopher Ship's Carpenter will help you on your voyage to 20 lore. 100 Acre Island is another good card to consider increasing the copies of to help generate an advantage even if your characters are banished. And adding an extra copy of Pooh Pirate Ship can help you find this important item sooner and let you bring those characters back from the discard. The biggest struggle of this deck will be card draw, so more options to help with that will certainly make the deck feel much more consistent. Be Our Guest and Invited to the Ball are good options to help you find your characters, but they also synergize well with Tigger in the Crow's Nest. Finally, consider some options to further protect your characters, such as Donald Duck Musketeer Soldier or Baloo von Bruenwald. Again, though they lack obvious synergy, they will protect those characters that matter. If you'd prefer to play this deck slightly more mid-range, many of the same cards could be useful, but especially consider increasing the copies of Moana Kakamora Leader and Jim Hawkins to give you a stronger mid-game. You could also consider adding a couple of copies of Look at This Family, as both of these characters could sing it solo and help you dig for the answers you need. Of course, we have to mention the new Mickey Mouse Pirate Captain, another character with a lot of synergy with the characters in this deck, and he can be used to control your opponent's side of the board to let you quest safely in later turns. Adding some copies of Lantern and even Doc, Leader of the Seven Dwarfs, can help you get your high cost characters out even faster. And that's our guide to playing a seaworthy crew. If you're looking for a guide on the other starter deck for Azurite Sea, Genius Reinvented, we'll have one out for you shortly, and we'll be sure to update the link of this video once it's ready. And be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified as soon as that's released. And if you found this video helpful, or you just like the pirate puns, be sure to hit the like button on the way out, we'd really appreciate it. And be sure to stay tuned as we'll have gameplay of both starter decks on release. Now, fare thee well Buccaneers, and happy questing on these Azurite Seas.